Oh, switchboard. Yes, thank you.
Hi.
Yes, thank you. Hi, Miss Sharon.
Hi,
I'm
it's
Robin.
nice to
I'm going to
meet
be
you.
the one
Nice to
working
meet
with the
you,
arrangement.
Robin.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. How do we get started?
How do we get started? Okay, so all I know from talking to my coworker who took you over the phone for the intake is that you were considering cremation. That's about all I know. Were you talking like direct cremation, or were you thinking like a visitation and a service?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think about trying to consider money. I would really like to. I mean, we weren't together at the time of his passing, but we were together for a long time. And it's just hard to figure out what he would want.
Okay, well, tell me about him then.
Well, he was an astrophysicist. And at the time that he passed away, he was a student. He was working on getting his doctorate. So I was wondering if we could do. I really want to do some kind of special service for him. Maybe centered around like maybe how much he loves space and everything, and the fact that he was an astrophysicist. So I would like to do a service 100%.
Okay, a service. And then for the visitation, were you thinking something during the night, like with the view of the stars, or?
I'm trying to think. A visitation. What exactly is a visitation?
Okay, so a visitation is basically just like a get together of family, friends, or you can make it like public, and anyone who wants to see him can come in. So we'll have, if you said cremation. So what we will do is we'll have like a lovely table in like the center of our visitation room. With his urn on the center, and then we can decorate that space with like flower arrangements, like mementos of his, like I'd imagine any sort of like space memorabilia would be welcome to there. Did I say photos? Photos also look wonderful. Okay. And then we'd have you as next to kin. We'd have you off to the side, like you'd have your own chair you'd be sat next to, so people can come in and give you their condolences, and they can just say goodbye to Diego, and then they can, while they're talking, staying around, they can share stories about him and honor his memory. Whereas like a service, so like a funeral service, that's more like it's typically religious in nature, and people are expected to like sit quietly while a priest or a celebrant reads off
Like would that include like you're saying that a funeral service is usually religious, or so it'd be like Bible verses and stuff like that?
Typically we can have a humanistic service if he wasn't religious.
I think that he would probably prefer something that isn't religious. I think also with the visitation too, I think that it'd be pretty overwhelming to just like have a visitation open to the public.
Okay, yes, we can do a private one. Yes, we won't mention like the time or date in the death announcement and the obituary.
Okay.
But of course, if you want just a guest list, we can also have someone at the front door who will help escort out unknown people.
That would be really helpful. I think that would help take a lot of stress off of me. And then I also think for the service, obviously, I don't want to go the religious route. What can I do if I don't want to do that?
So like, let's see here. Let me check my paperwork on him for the intake. It says his like state religion was an atheist. So I believe that any sort of like a speech about the beauty of science and how life is just such a finite thing within his worldview. I believe that he would appreciate that, possibly. I didn't know him too personally. That's an option.
Is there like a way that we can get a speaker for the service?
Yes, of course. I can get you connected with several celebrants in our area. I have a working relationship with all of them. I think they're quite wonderful.
Would it be okay if I met one of them to see if I feel like they'd be a good fit? Okay, cool. Well, that sounds really good. Yeah, because I think that would fit a lot better with what he wants. And then I'd also like to do an evening visitation and service. What times do you offer?
What times do I offer? So were you thinking at the church, or like at a church or a third party, or were you thinking at our funeral home?
It's a really good question. I think that I'd like to do it. Is there a way we could do it at our home?
Yes, I can arrange a home visitation there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's where his telescopes were, or your telescope?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I wasn't living with him at the time
Okay.
of his passing, but yes, and I'd like to use like his telescopes and stuff
Mhm.
to decorate. I just think that would be a lot more personal, a lot more
Of course.
meaningful. Would you, this might be a weird question too, would you transport him to us, or would we
Yes,
take
of
him
course,
home?
of course.
Okay.
We could bring like the transport vehicle, or if you want to splurge, give him like like a final drive. You can also consider leasing out our hearse.
Okay. How much is the hearse to
How much
lease
is
out?
the hearse? That's a good question. So I'd say it's in the ballpark of about 1,600 for the ride.
Okay. I think
Okay.
that is quite a lot. Well,
Mhm.
I guess we'll see. I'd like to see how much the rest of this.
Of course, yes, we can budget around it. That's why we're here. Mhm.
That sounds good. I'm trying to think if I have any other questions. I think I'm ready to get started on the rest of the
Okay,
arrangements.
it's wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, let's get started.
Okay, sounds good. I really